Look, we know that Heidi Klum owns Halloween, and we know that Mariah Carey owns Christmas, but there is one art form that owns September through December, period. And that art form is stop motion animation. Now, y'all already know I'm a student always, but sometimes I'm a teacher. And in my book, there are 9 must-watch stop animation films. Let's go through them. In order of when you should watch these, September 1st, James and the Giant Peach. Now, this is a little appetizer for you for the Halloween season, brought to you by some of the most eclectic artists in Disney's animation department in the 90s. Baby, this film has everything. Adventure, the lack of child protective services, nutritional travel, and a cameo from one of my other favorite Disney characters in this list. Next on this list is Paranorman. Now, I'm gonna warn you, if you cried over Encanto, don't watch this. The generational trauma in Paranorman is louder than a Tennessee family reunion in July. In fact, it took me 3 watches to realize what this young man actually did. When you reach October, take a left onto Coraline Jones Boulevard. Now, I didn't rank these, but if I did, Coraline would be top 3 and not 3. Not only is it a beautiful film, the shock, discomfort, and rage that I felt in 90 minutes, the storyline by itself is scary. But when you pay attention to the details, it's even more terrifying. Now, while this film breaks down an internal struggle, Wendell and Wild highlights an external battle. Kat was one of the first Black lead claymation characters, and she ate this role up, regardless of the fact that, well, she was made to eat it up, but still. In addition to being a really good zombie movie, this film is about, you are not going to be able to guess what I'm about to say, the school to prison pipeline. I kid you not. And there are characters that look just like American political figures. And those 2 characters at the top, yeah, played by Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key. Watch it. We've made it to the week of Halloween. If you've ever wanted to see if you actually had discernment, watch this movie. Tell yourself who you think the villain is. And when the villain is revealed, if it was the villain, you have discernment. If you did not get that correct, baby, we must work on your gift. The Corpse Bride is a tried and true story about a love gone terribly wrong. Not only is there a wig snatching ending, but the music is really good, and the lead characters are Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Helena Bonham Carter was also Bellatrix Lestrange, okay? Get into it! On October the 31st. Y'all already know how I feel about Nightmare Before Christmas. But in case you didn't know, this is my favorite stop motion animation film of all time. And that Disney character that made a cameo in this film, it was Jack Skellington. Now, this film is about colonization. However, Jack gets karma handed to him in a Fashion Nova bag. He takes the type of L's you wish on your worst enemies. And the villain in this film, a full-blown comedian. Now, the day after Thanksgiving, we're on to Christmas. We are pulling out the OG Rankin Bass Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, these films are very old, but filled with bops. But there is one Rankin Bass film that should have received a Grammy. Ba-dum, bum, bum. The Year Without a Santa Claus gave me the themes and tropes that just itched my brain. I don't know what it's called, but if you're one of those people that likes those tropes that are like, oh, this person created the color red and this person is responsible for ice storms, and if you like stuff like that, this is for you. It also includes a scene where Mrs. Claus and Mother Nature have to read people for filth, and I enjoyed it. Last but not least, on Christmas Eve, please watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys. I may be childish, but the scream that I scrumped at some of these toys, again, very old stop motion animation, but hilarious. I also have a personal beef with how Santa Claus manages his relationship with Rudolph. However, this is a key. I'm not saying that other movies shouldn't come out or shouldn't air during the holiday season. However, what I am saying is that the holiday season between September and December belongs to stop motion animation films. Everybody else, you got January through August. Let my friends have it.